For some time I've been thinking that there should be a credible annual that looks in depth at the media industry, but I didn't want to just create an annual for the sake of it and to make some extra money. So I thought about it for a long time and decided to employ the services of a research company, Freshly Ground Insights, to interview as many top marketing people who make decisions about the choice of suppliers. And he did that for me. We got 58 responses, which we thought was phenomenal, and it's a very good sample. Top people, top advertisers, top 100 Adindex. And that forms the first part of the book, their opinions. The second part of the book, we sectionalized off into radio, television, etc., media spaces. And then we also looked at ad industry, research, and media agencies. We did an overview of the previous year, which was written by my own journalists. And then we sought out the best, brightest minds globally to tell us about what was, in their opinion, likely to happen, and happening, in fact, it's that fast, in the world of media. The future of TV was Graham Lovelace. He's UK-based, and his overall comment was, the prediction is that television is in rude good health. Obviously, he sees lots of challenges with video on demand, etc., coming in, but points out that Africa is still very nice territory for the Americans who are losing income on pay TV to start launching into South Africa. On the radio side, we have a futurologist called James Cridland, who said that globally 9 out of 10 people listen to radio every single day. He said the thing with radio, people still tune in for the human connection and to share experiences. Newspapers, Larry Kilman from the World Association of Newspapers says the biggest challenge is money. How are the paper-based people going to replace what used to be very nice incomes, both from subscriptions and advertising, now on the digital platform? Major challenge. It has been for 15 years. Nothing new on that. Magazines, Cobus Hale from FIP, the Federation of International Publishers, is carefully optimistic about magazines. He says that a lot of stuff is happening. They're experimenting with video, with mobile, with e-commerce, with creating events, and better interaction with their readers and subscribers. It is an intimate medium. It always will be. It's just redefining its space in the new technology world. On the digital front, Jamie Brighton, who's the cloud specialist from Adobe, talked about the personalization necessity in digital because it's becoming enormously impersonal. People feel that they're just a number, an algorithm in fact, and they're becoming irritated by that. That is getting a lot of attention. He says still that mobile and multi-channel are big things for the digital movement to look at. Out of home front, Nancy Fletcher from America and Mark Fliss from Europe, digital has totally energized the out-of-home section, and we're seeing this in South Africa. We're going to see more of it in airports, on billboards. It's a very exciting space to be in, I think. And they talk about audience measurement, and there are moves afoot in South Africa to follow the trends that are happening globally. Good news for out-of-home. Jenny Beck, who's a research expert, talked about the research industry and how it needs to be more inventive, and it needs to reinvent how it sees things and how it does things using new technologies. So research too is going through a metamorphosis, and particularly research into media and marketing activity. Then we had, on the media agency side, we did our own wrap-up. And the bulk of the commentary that we got from people in the industry has been the rapid advance of big international agencies like Publicis and WPP buying up a lot of what's going down in South Africa, and in fact in Africa. So right now, South African media and ad agencies are in the hands of a handful, and that handful are not South Africans. And that has tremendous implications for the media and agency space, for creatives, for planning, for number crunching, and how it's all taking space. This is not a new phenomenon, but it's stepped up in the last 3 to 4 years. And I don't know that there's that much left to buy, to be frank, but let's see how that goes. On the advertising front, we used a local guy, Brett Morris, who's obviously got an international experience, to talk about what's happening in the advertising agency world in his opinion. And he just said, the importance of insight and emotion is more valid now than it's ever been. He says it's a platitude and it sounds old-fashioned, but that's what it's all about. And he cannot believe the amount of ads that are coming out of the global environment that lack that emotion and that connection and that insight. Then the research that we did amongst marketers, as I say, we got a good response. And they were very open with their views. But what we wanted to do was get them to give us criteria on how they judged suppliers to themselves. Now, those suppliers are brand consultants, advertising agencies, media agencies, event companies, public relations companies, recruitment agencies, and procurement. And then they said this is what they expect from them. The 7 key criteria were identified was more strategic creative, not just creative for creative's sake. More thinking and insight into their brands and their own companies, and not just, this is my company, I'm going to make money, I'm going to give them another campaign to make more money out of them. They're looking for more depth. There is the complaint, I think, that agencies say that the marketers they're working with don't give them what they need. Well, then the marketers are saying, well, ask us. Tell us when you're not getting it. And this is senior marketers. These are marketing directors and advertising directors. They want deadlines met, an old one, but a goodie as far as I'm concerned, an understanding of their business, clear and honest communication, which I was quite surprised at. I thought it was always a good thing, but perhaps it needs some work. A relationship that really works, real value, and responsible management of budgets. So there's a mix of the emotional relationship stuff, the creative stuff, but a good old-fashioned good service, developing, understanding my brand, understanding the environment that I work in, looking at the big picture rather than the little picture. To conclude with on that section, there's a lot more here in depth. The supplier average rating that was given out of 10, brand consultants came out the highest at nearly 8%, which I think is pretty good. So they ranked very highly by the marketers. Secondly was ad agencies. Thirdly, media agencies. Next followed the event companies, then primary research houses, PR companies, recruitment agencies, and perhaps not surprisingly, procurement agencies at the bottom of the list. This book is full of lots of really good stuff. There's some predictions, there's a lot of opinions, there's a lot of research, and there's a lot of insights. I have spare copies if anybody would like to ring me, and I will deliver one to them.